Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.
Good morning, third grade. My name is Mrs. Nix, and I am so excited to be here to support you to become amazing thinkers, readers, and writers. This morning, I was reading a fantastic story, A Chair for My Mother, by Vera Williams. Now, have you ever had a tragedy that's happened in your house? Well, this one actually is about a young girl whose house burned down a year ago, and now they're saving their money to buy a chair for their mother. It is a beautifully done story. And if you want to hear how she goes through, her and her mom, to save up for this beautiful chair, check it out. You can look it up on Sora or visit your local library. All right, boys and girls, I am so excited. This week we've been working on the writing process using that personal narrative. We're going to start out today by warming up those brains with those high-frequency words, doing a little bit of grammar practice, and then we're going to jump into that writing. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is warm up. We're going to look at these high-frequency words. And remember, high-frequency words are simply words that we see often in our reading, and we use them often in our writing. So it's important that we not only be able to read them, but we're able to write them as well. So if you notice one today where you go, I don't always remember how to spell that one, make sure you jot it down so you can practice it. Let's go through and read them today. Ready? Let's go. Brown, called, but, came, by, can, buy, carry, call, clean. Excellent job, third grade. So let's jump right into our grammar this morning. Yesterday, we worked on these same 4 sentences, but we were talking about identifying the subject. Every sentence has a subject and a predicate. So what's a predicate? Okay. So let's review real quick that the subject tells who or what the sentence is about. Here's the predicate. The predicate is what the subject does or is. So let's look at these. Yesterday, you helped me identify that in this sentence, the pet store is busy on Saturday, that you told me that the pet store is who the sentence is about or what the sentence is about. So the predicate tells us what the subject is doing or is. So this one says, is busy on Saturday. So I'm going to put a little line right here separating my subject, and the rest is my predicate, is busy on Saturday. Excellent job. So this one, you told me that people was the subject. What were the people doing? Look, they're smiling at puppies and kittens. So again, I'm going to put a little line because that's where the predicate begins. That's kind of where find your verb, and your verb sets off your predicate. So people, and here's your predicate, smile at the puppies and kittens. Nicely done. So we have the goldfish being the subject, and what are the goldfish doing? They swim in a big tank. There's your predicate. And the last one, furry rabbits. And what do the furry rabbits do? Hop around. So, hop around is our predicate right there. Nicely done, third grade. So, this week we've been working on personal narrative and the writing process. So, a personal narrative, just to remind us, it's a true story, and we're using those pronouns like I, me, we, and my. Remember, it has a beginning, middle, and end, and it uses time order words like first, next, then, last summer. and it includes some dialogue. That's the part that allows you to be able to share the writer's feelings about the experience, because that's the part that makes it really that personal narrative. Okay, so I want us to talk a little bit today about where we are in our writing process. We started out the beginning of the week talking about how to plan for our writing. And that was coming up with all those ideas, using our graphic organizer and trying to just organize our thoughts. Next, we talked about writing a draft, a rough draft. We're not worried about spelling and grammar, we're just getting our ideas down. It can be a mess, it's okay, because then we get to revise. When we went through and we talked about revision or revising our writing, that was where we were trying to organize it so that it made sense, it was clear, and our events were in order. And then the last part was to make sure that we had a conclusion. Today, we're at this step here. We're editing. Okay, so editing, what is that? Well, it's the piece right before publishing. So editing is when we proofread and edit. Here's exactly what we're looking for. We want to correct our mistakes in spelling, punctuation, capitalization, and grammar. We're really looking through our writing with that fine-tooth comb. That's what it means when I say fine-tooth comb. I'm being very particular. Now, here's something that you could use. You could use a spell checker, but I'm going to give you just a quick little reminder. A spell checker may not always recognize wrong words, such as the words there and there. Those words are both spelled correctly, but you're going to want to be very careful. Are you using the correct there in your sentence? And a spell checker might not always find that. So that's why it's super important to have a peer look over your work, or maybe a grown-up at home. They might be able to find some of those errors that were made. We have an edit checklist we're going to look over today. And then finally, it's time for you to edit your draft. This is where you get to fix all of those errors. So let's look. I have a little editing checklist that's going to go along with our writing today. So let's look. On our editing checklist, we have things like, do all the sentences begin with a capital letter and end with a punctuation mark? Are there any fragments or run-on sentences? Are the sentences complete with a subject and a predicate, just like we did today? Are coordinating conjunctions and commas used correctly? And then finally, are all of the words spelled correctly? Let's go back and review. Yesterday, we started talking about how to revise, and today we're going to look at how to edit. Look at this. It's really starting to look like a mess, right? This is my favorite part. I love it when it gets so messy like this. We have so many things that are going on. I want to finish a little bit of yesterday's work before we really start talking about some of these edits. Or maybe I'll do it together. That's what I'll do. I'll do it together. We're going to talk about the green with the revision, as well as some of our edits. Remember, those revisions are the things that we changed for like our sequence, or if we wanted to give some more juicy details. So I'm going to read them as they should be, as they are corrected, okay? So follow along with me and let's read it. A camping surprise. Last summer, my family and I went on our first camping trip. We visited a beautiful lake near our town. I have always wanted to go camping. I was excited about hiking and swimming. Remember, I added that little juicy detail. And this sentence, we moved to the bottom, so I'm going to skip it for a second. First, we set up our tent and ate the sandwiches we brought. Then we sang, oh, look at this. This was spelled wrong, lively. So with my editing, I went through and I fixed it right there. So we sang lively songs and told terrifying stories. I had so much fun. Back up here. Good job. I was really tired when I went to sleep that night. Keep going. The next morning, strange noises woke me up. Here's how we had it. Didn't make a sound. Didn't make a sound. Does that have a subject? No, it's not telling who or what made a sound, right? So here's what I did. I went back and I said, it was me. I'm the one who didn't make a sound. So I added this little bit. I curled up in my sleeping bag and I would change my D to a lowercase d, and I didn't make a sound. That sounds so much better. Finally, I dared to go outside. I saw squirrels, and I know that that one's misspelled, so I'm going to cross it off and spell it correctly. So I saw squirrels were dropping acorns on the roof of the tent. A minute later, I tripped over my backpack. I had left it out by mistake, and raccoons had ripped it open in the night. I will never make that mistake again. That's a very powerful sentence. So look, we can add and make sure that it is an exclamation mark right there. Now, I added a little bit of dialogue. Remember I told you we were revising a little bit? So I'm going to put a new paragraph. I can write this little backwards P, and that means it's a new paragraph, and I added some dialogue. Oh no, they ate all my snacks, I said. They had stolen nuts, fruit, and potato chips. Now here's the last little bit, that conclusion. We worked on a revision last night. So here it is. I was upset that the raccoons ate my snacks, all right there. Ate is A-T-E, ate my snacks, but I sure had a funny story to tell everyone at breakfast. So, was I able to share some of my feelings, my personal feelings on my very first camping trip? Absolutely, it was all there. So boys and girls, think about your rough draft. How are you going to go through and revise and edit? Can it look messy like this? Oh, heck yeah, this is awesome. But once we have it exactly how we like it, it's time to take it to that final phase and to do a publishing version. We're going to look at that tomorrow. So I want to say thanks for hanging out with me today as you're getting ready for school. Remember, you're responsible for your learning success. So listen, ask questions, and share your ideas, because together we can do so much more. I can't wait to see you back here tomorrow so we can talk about how to publish this. It's going to be awesome. Have a great one. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.